sorry, it's not worth $1.5 million. Hey, Michael?
Yeah.
Yeah, hey, Mike, my name is Henry. I was calling you about a building you have on. How you doing?
Good. How you doing?
Doing great, thank you. So I was giving you a call because my partner and I are going through a 1031 exchange, and we're looking to move quite a bit of money into the local markets here. And I was just curious if you'd be totally against selling the multifamily property if you're on.
Yeah, it's 43 duplexes that you're probably aware of.
You have 23
Um,
duplexes, so it's 46.
46 units, yes, sir.
Okay.
I mean, we'd be open to at the right price, but you have an offer in mind because we're not, we weren't thinking of selling it all.
I understand. And obviously, look, it's got to make sense to you and it's got to make sense to us. So I fully understand that. So 46 units, do you have like a rough idea of a rent roll and I can kind of do the rest of the math?
And what the rentals are, as far as what the rentals are right
Yeah,
now?
like ballparking. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, well, they're, I don't have a calculator right next to me, but I believe they're right about 850 per unit per, door. So
Okay, so
1,700 per duplex. That's about where we're at.
got it. Okay.
Also, we have other properties that we would be less inclined to sell that one than some of the other properties we have. Reason being that property we purchased way back in 2000 through our company, and the capital gains tax and all that would be
It'd be a lot.
kind of.
So what property would you prefer to sell if we could?
Basically receive those from my father's trust and have a higher basis. You understand what I'm saying?
That makes sense. Which what would be the biggest apartment deal or largest property you have? Because we're trying to move some money here, so I want to make sure we can try to move as much as we can.
Yeah. I mean, we talked to you a year ago. We sold a 16 unit one, but that's gone. We have thinking now. The rest are mostly like duplexes and things like that, except for I'm thinking we have 3 properties maybe you can look at. Okay.
Go ahead.
One is that's an 8-plex, 2-bedroom, 1 bath each. Then we have the address on that.
Hold on one second.
That should have, I want to say there's 10 units there. That's 1820 Exora. Don't 90% sure on that address, but it's for sure. It's under DL meter rental, so they're all under the same thing. But I believe it's 1820 Exora. There should be 10 units there. And then there's a really terrific property, in my opinion, that has a lot of potential because of where it's located, and that is on Southdale Road. It's I don't remember that address. It's on Southdale Road. I want to say, but I could be off. I don't collect the rents. My nephew does, so
Got it.
things off the wayside in my brain. But that's a 6-plex. There's 4 2-bedroom, 1 bath, and then there's 2 2-bedroom, 2 baths. And that's the thing about that area is if you look at a map, it's in the southern section of Fort Myers. It's in a lot better area than these others. So it's just got much more potential.
Gotcha. Yeah, I see 10.
I mean, I thought about remodeling them, but it's just difficult with people that, we have renters, they never leave because the rents right now are lower than they should. I don't have those numbers, but.
No, it's fine. I have.
Area. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, but I live about 2 miles from that property.
Got
And these are all like high-end properties in this area, and a 2-bedroom property around here is going for over $2,000. And if it was, and I think those over there are in the 1,100 range ish. And there's also a garage. The 2-bedroom, 2-bath ones. I said there's 4 2-bedroom, 1 bath. That's out there. There's 2 2-bedroom, 2 baths with garage.
Oh wow! How much? Just out of curiosity, how much did you sell your 16 unit?
What did we sell it for?
Yeah.
There was the way that sale was done. When you look it up, it's going to show less because of the way it was done as kind of an asset purchase on some stuff. But really, we got 1 point. I think it was 1.49-ish around there, somewhere around there. And then there were some things that had to be done. We had some coach stuff that brought it down, and then the way they set up the asset, it might show like $1 million, but it's not.
So just out of curiosity, if we were able to come to somewhere in the ballpark range of that price per unit, because I'm imagining the rents are all pretty similar, is that something you'd be open to?
Probably not. We would want that one was. Here's why. That was probably the most difficult property we had. Number one, they were all 1-bedroom units. Okay, start there.
Yep.
And they were also in an area that was just not a great area, and the renters were difficult. We had the most rent issues there. And it just wasn't. It was the problem, and then we had some things with code enforcement we had to take care of because they were all over. So right there where code. It was just a little bit of a nightmare. We
Got it. I mean, like, would you like if because look, you saw.
I'm just giving this minute. These others are really no problems at all. And as I told you, the Southdale, and I'm just telling. I mean, I love the Southdale property. That's the last one I'd want to sell, just so you know, because of the potential. I still have it where I can remodel things and really make things really good there. But I'm just giving you some info. If you look it up, you'll see that for yourself.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. Yeah. Well,
it's in a good area, you know.
Well, I'm saying like if you would be open to the idea, I mean, look, you sold that one for 93 grand a unit. I think that market's probably around 100 grand a door, right, for one bedrooms and maybe a smidge higher for two bedrooms. So I'm saying if you're open to that kind of range, this could be a pretty good fit for our 1031 exchange. You know, we would also look to, you know, if you're also open to the idea, you know, like the 8plex 10 family. I mean, if you wanted to keep you can, but I would be open to buying the entire portfolio, you know, the including the 46 unit, which I know obviously, you know, there's tax burdens there too. But if you're open to the idea, I basically would say, you know, I'd pay, let's call it 95 to 100 grand a door for all one bedrooms, and then all two bedrooms, I would pay like 110 to 120 a door. If you're open to that, I could come up.
We have a total. We have a total of, I'm just giving you a little, we have a total of, if you look up DLB rentals right now, since we sold the 16plex, we have 90 units. 90? Yeah, 90. In all different spots. We got some.
Yeah. So I'm saying, like, look, I mean, if you're open to the idea, I mean, to be able to pay somewhere around like 9 to 10.
Fiveplexes, you know.
Yeah. So I'm saying if you were be open to selling the whole thing, I would buy the duplexes, the fiveplexes, the 46 unit, everything in that market for you for somewhere around the 9 million range. Maybe 9 to 10 million.
Yeah, well, again, with the two bedrooms, like you said, that'd be a bit more.
That's fine. No, that's fine.
You were saying the one bedrooms. What were yours?
Around around 100 grand a door, like 95 to 100,000 a door, and then the two bedrooms probably somewhere between like 110. Yeah, exactly, 110, 120 range, exactly.
Yeah.
So I would definitely.
Yeah, let me do this. I will talk to my partners, who are basically my sister and brother-in-law, and get a feel. And why don't you call me back? You know, give me a few days. If you can call me back, you know, maybe Monday.
Sure, that works. Is
that okay?
Yeah.
There's a few factors on my end.
Is this your cell phone, Mike?
Yeah, this is my cell phone.
Okay, I'll shoot you a text from my cell here.
Talk to them. They may have some ideas on properties they do or don't want to sell. Like I said, the big thing is, which is about half, is the prospected wood property.
Yeah.
Because those are, the tax burden on that's a bit more. That doesn't mean it's, you know, wouldn't be an option. It just means it's an option that we have to, you know.
No, for sure.
The last ones we want to sell because of it. Makes sense. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm just saying somewhere that, I mean, and keep in mind that obviously, like, if you have a rent roll that you could share with me, that would also be really helpful. Just because I also, you know, I know that that will obviously take, you know, for our bank as an example, we would have to run all the numbers by them, make sure that everything looks good. If hypothetically you're renting a two bedroom for $800, that's going to change the value of that two bedroom, right? You know, I'm okay with buying it with, you know, lower rents, right? I completely understand that, and we're very comfortable with waiting and being patient to renovate the apartments and everything. But just keep in mind that, like, you know, if you're getting like $1,100 or $1,200 for a two bedroom, I can understand paying like 110, 120. But if you're renting it for $700, it just makes it a little difficult. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I understand. I don't have one in front of me, but we're in the. I can tell you this: our rent roll will get like out of the 90 units. The rent again. There's some.
Go ahead.
We're in that. I'm giving you a round of, again, we have the whole roll, but I just don't have it in front of me. But we're approximately at about 83.5 right now for all of them. But remember one thing: we're using two units. We use there's two units. We have an office in one of the units, and then the second unit is kind of like which we've been talking about doing something with that. But the second one's kind of like almost like a storage. You know, it's they're in good shape, but we use it like we just have like some, you know, just some stoves and, you know, fridges, just quick stuff right on the property.
That makes sense.
If there's an issue at Prospect Wood. You know what I mean? So there's 2 units that aren't part of the rent roll. Okay,
That makes sense.
but that's what we're right about 8. I mean, I had it at our last meeting. I believe that's the number we had. Right about 83.5, and then plus 2 units that aren't being rented.
I mean, look, just ballparking
Okay.
figures on financials, you're probably around the 8-ish million range, based off of income. But obviously, look, if your family's open to the idea, I'm interested in buying the whole portfolio. I want to make it a win-win for both of us. Like I said, I have to move some money. And if you're, maybe if we can come to some type of number that makes sense for both of us, maybe also if the family's open to, some maybe even a little bit of seller financing of some sort, maybe, $1 million or $2 million or something like that, just to allow me to, because that would allow me to pay more money for sure. Because I'm looking at like a net operating income.
Yeah, we have all that stuff. Again, we can talk more, but that, I mean, I hear what you're saying. Let me talk to them and get a feel.
Sure. So it's exactly 90 units.
There is, I don't believe I'm off on that. Yeah, I believe it's exactly 90. And like I said, about 83.5, 83.9, something like that is, it's changing because I think but I think that's pretty accurate. And then again, 2 units, so, whatever you take that 80, not 83 into 90 or whatever, a couple of units, because you're going to be in the 80, 85, 86 range.
Yeah. Okay. Well, look, talk to the family.
Okay.
Yes, I'll call you back on Monday. I'll shoot you a text now with my info, and then we'll chat then. All right, Mike? Again, Mike?
Because I just lost you, yeah.
Yeah, it's all right.
Sorry. Okay, do that. Okay.
Yeah, sounds good, Mike. Again, my name is Henry. I'll call you Monday. Enjoy the week. I'll talk to you later.
Appreciate it, Henry.
You got it. Bye. So obviously a pretty good conversation. That's sort of exactly what we're looking for. They inherited the properties. I mean, they've been managing it for quite some time. Let me just hang up here, and I'm going to shoot this guy a text. So keep in mind, guys, honestly, this is one of those situations where even at 100 a unit in this local market might not be a freaking steal. Okay. We're going to try to do some homework, obviously, like what we can. I think he's drastically under rented. So I think we're in a pretty good ballpark, but I don't think it's an absolute steal, So I think that there's a lot to consider here. Great conversation, though. Very happy about it. This is the kind of individual we look to speak with. We're going to keep the process going. And by the way, he has everything under one LLC, makes it so freaking easy. I can literally see their entire portfolio, 90 apartments. I mean, honest to God, I think that we could probably double the income. Happy about that. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, hey, Will?
Yes, who's this?
Yeah, I will. My name is Henry. I was calling you about the building you have on. How you doing?
I'm doing all right. I'm not looking at selling that, though.
I understand you probably get calls like this all the time. I was actually reaching out to you because my partner and I are going through a 1031 exchange, so I happen to be reaching out to just a couple property owners like yourself. So I know you don't want to sell this building, loud and clear, no problem. But do you happen to have any other properties you might be open to the idea of selling?
No, just this one.
You only have this one. I mean, is there a price that if you got it, you'd even remotely consider it?
Probably not. I mean, I'm getting $100,000 a year or gross rents.
$100,000 a year in gross rent, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
So what that's $1 million price range, right?
I mean, it depends on what your net is. Like, I mean, obviously, if you have $100,000 in expenses, it might be worth nothing. Like, I'm just kind of joking around with you, but obviously, depend. Like, do you pay any expenses there? The what?
Yeah, I got. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I got a meeting that just started, and I have to pay attention to that, so I really can't keep talking to you.
Okay, I understand. Well, look, I mean, real quick, if I was in the $1 million range, would you be even open to the idea?
Probably $1.5 million would be open to the idea, which doesn't make sense for you.
Yeah. How many units was that? How many houses?
4.
4 houses. Okay, I'll do some homework and I'll get back to you. No problem. Thanks. Bye. Okay, look, he's going to tell me 4 real fast. I'm like, obviously, like if he said 40, it's a different story. Maybe it's just a management issue. He says 4. Is that, it's not worth. I'm sorry, it's not worth $1.5 million. I don't even understand how on planet Earth you'd come up with that number.